First and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakkwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation and much love to Yakim out there pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. And we're just going to go through the spirit and another live lesson. And Lord's will is edifying to the hopeful elect out there.
Can't hear you, Akim, for some reason.
Yeah, we can hear you good over here, bro.
Can you hear us now?
So
We can hear you.
I can't hear us for some reason.
You can hear me, Quan?
Yeah. We hear you good, Ash. And Maya.
Well, I can hear you, brothers.
What about now?
But I can't hear Ash.
Hold on, let me see something. Oh, you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, Con.
All right,
Yeah.
in there.
All right, we're just gonna go ahead and start in Second Ezra chapter 6. One of you brothers can pull it out.
Okay. This is Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. You want me to keep reading?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Or you can start. You can start again. I was just trying to check the live stream.
Okay. Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid.
Yep, and that's the time that we're there. Go ahead.
Salaki, let me start at verse 22. Because it's going into what's been happening within the last few days, last few couple weeks. All right, this is Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. All right, we've had the market, all right, the stock market going up and down, really going down. All right, just today it dropped about 800 something points, and it's going to come a time, and it's going to come real soon when this economy is getting ready to crash, and these Edomites are foreseeing that. All right, you have what was that article I sent out yesterday? It was the Bank of America, I believe, but the financial advisor for Bank of America basically just stated that the economy for America is getting ready to come to a recession. All right, and all signs are pointing towards that. All signs, and it has something to do with what this president is doing. All right, Donald Trump, because a lot of these tariffs that he's putting on these other countries isn't just affecting these other countries; it's affecting the American people. All right, so all these businesses such as like J.C. Penney's, like me and the brother Aria, we had did a video one time out there in one of the malls that where the brother lives at, and the majority of the stores were pretty much closed. Sears was having a liquidation sale. All right, these are the storehouses that the scriptures talk about. They're going to be found empty. All right,
all the grocery stores. When it's gonna come a point in time where there ain't gonna be nothing. Just like when people are trying to prepare for a hurricane, you go to a grocery store and all you see is empty shelves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's coming, mainly here to America, because it's already happening in a lot of places around the world.
Yeah, I got a quick article from today going into the economy. This is from CNN. Dow tumbles 800 points after bond market flashes a recession warning. So I'll just read the first, introduction. So the Dow fell 800 points Wednesday after the bond market, for the first time in over a decade, flashed a warning signal that has an eerie, accurate track record for predicting recessions. So going into the brother talking about malls closing down, everything's closing down because this place is heading into a cease. All the prosperity and the things that are going on in this world, specifically talking about so-called America, the living deliciously, going out and partying and first of the month or what was those celebrations downtown in St. Pete. These things are slowing down because the economy is failing, all right? And going into prophecy, this is exactly how the Most High had it, where He's going to destroy this world from the inside out. Starting with the financial.
God, this is a quick precept to go with that. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and let's keep going. It says in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and when those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And this is what's taking place, man. Slowly but surely. Like brother saying, all these malls, man, they're just empty. You go to the parking lot, there's maybe 18 cars in there, and those 18 cars are all from employees of the little bit of stores that are still open. A little kiosk. They don't even sell cotton candy at the mall. In the little kiosk anymore. I think the busiest places in the mall is the food courts. But that's because the grinding is ceasing, man. All these Sears and J.C. Penney's and whatever Macy's, all that's all of these are major corporations. So if they're getting shut down because they ain't got the money coming in like that, imagine what is going to happen to these streets eventually, man. When these little small mom and pop shops, the quick and stop, when they ain't making no money, and then ultimately them shelves run out of food because they ain't got no money to keep replenishing their goods, and when people start wreaking havoc in the streets and stealing everything,
Yeah, I got something for you, Ash. This is another article. It says this was posted 5 hours ago by Kelly Tycho. It says all Avenue stores closing, liquidation now underway. Jump right to the point. It says 8 months into 2019, there have already been 29% more store closings announced than in all of 2018. It says, so basically here it is, we're halfway through this, well, we're a little bit over halfway in this month, and it's 29% over how many stores closed. It's 29% over how many stores closed in 2018, man. So like we said, the prophecies at the end it shall speak, and like the brother is going into, man, this is going to affect with Trump putting all these sanctions on these other countries. All right, this is going to put an effect on you Americans, man. All right, because you're not going to be able to go to your local store, as it is written, victuals shall be so good cheap. All right, you're not going to be able to go to the store and get your diapers, all right, for Sarah, all right, for $5 anymore, man. All right, it's going to up the price because hyperinflation is going to be global. All right.
Oh, the video might have been put in the chat earlier this week, the trigger effect. I watched it last night, and how the dude, he couldn't buy the medicine for his daughter, because they weren't accepting credit cards and things of that nature. Only small bills and stuff like that. The power was out. That's what happened.
Yep. The trigger effect.
Trigger effect, huh?
Okay. Yep.
It says 8 months into 2019, there have already been 29% more store closings announced than in all 2018. According to a new report from global marketing research firm Coresight Research, it says based on Coresight Research figures retailer earning reports, bankruptcy filings, and other records, more than 7,600 stores are slated to shutter this year, and thousands of locations already gone, man.
Mm-hmm.
7,600 stores, man. All right, being announced to be closed, man. And like the brother was going in on Sears out there, but where the brother Ariah at, I believe Sears was one of the main stores, main businesses, if you will, was talked about being closed, man. So this thing is popping off, man. And this is a beautiful, like we were saying in the group chat yesterday, what beautiful times we living in, man, because now we're getting ready to see the full effect of the Heavenly Father manifesting His judgment, all right, by deeming America to be that icing on the cake. And this is why we have to have the patience and the faith of the saints, man. Because when it comes into fruition, this thing gonna start rolling like a ball down the hill, man, like a rock down the hill, and this thing gonna get ready to pop off. You know, so hang on to your seat, you know, because the roller coaster about to get very bumpy for these Americans, man. You know,
it's gonna be like that snowball effect, man. It's just gonna get bigger and bigger.
Right.
But go back to that second Ezra, 6. But
this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6, and that was on verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid.
and that's these calamities, man. All right, all these signs that the Lord is showing. All right, the great evil that He's bringing upon this place. Real quick, this is Amos 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Well, there's the answer to this question, man. It's that they are going to be afraid. It said they're going to be suddenly afraid. Okay, it says, shall there be evil in a city and the Lord Yahweh hath not done it? All right, so the Lord is the one ultimately doing all these things. All right, he's manipulating the minds of these Americans and all these the elites of this society to make certain moves, all right, to ultimately bring the destruction of America. All right, and now the Lord is bringing them evils upon this place, man, and everybody's starting to get more and more afraid. People are afraid to go to Walmart. People are afraid to go to here, afraid to send their kids to school. You know, all these things that are taking place in the world, and people still right now, you know, they still think that it's all nonchalant, even though deep down inside they're afraid. But soon they're going to be horrified. All right. It's really going to set in when these great evils multiply on the earth. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I may say this real quick, you know, it's getting ready to come into a time where you people aren't going to be able to do anything without being afraid. And that's clear and evident. That's clear and evident, especially here in America, man. You know, you got these other countries that are going through what they're going through. You got France and a little bit of the other European nations going through those protests. All right, you got those protests happening over there in Hong Kong. All right, and now all that, you know, you a couple years back, maybe a year and a half ago, you had those riots happening out there in Venezuela. A lot of these things are getting ready to come to America, man. And you people ain't gonna there ain't gonna be no escape for you, man. These things are coming. All right, the riots, and it's all gonna be a part of the collapse of this economy. All right, the collapse of this government, the collapse of everything that you know of. That's gonna be the reason why you people bug the hell out, and you go contrary to what is happening.
Mm-hmm. And ultimately, that's gonna be Esau's
MO.
Yeah, pretty much, because that's how he's gonna bring even more people into the microchip, man. Yep. All right, well, look, that's why they got that saying order of chaos, you know, order out of chaos, because with all this chaos, all the economies collapsing, you know, all these things taking place. You know, people being terrified, don't know what to do. Well, we'll come over here to this chipping center, and we got the answers for you. All right. Let me add the brother real quick. You can keep going on that, though.
Hey, real quick,
go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 16. A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. Hey, and you know that's America. Hey,
there you go. All right, you were gonna break that down?
Yeah, no, you speak on this out. This is Zephaniah. This is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 16. It says, a day of the trumpet, an alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers.
Real quick, it said a day of the trumpet. Or is not the Lord blaring his trumpet through his men? Are not his men the trumpet that he's blaring his warning from? Because when you look at movies, especially these army movies, when the enemy is coming, what do these armies do? they start to blare the trumpet. They start to blare that horn, the French horn or whatever the hell they got. They start to blare to let you know what that the enemy is coming. And in this case, what did the Lord say? Warn them from me. Warn them from me. And that is what is happening. The Lord is sending his prophets out to warn him from the Lord coming. And the Lord is the one that's going to be bringing all these things to the planet Earth. He's going to be bringing the pestilence. He's going to be bringing about the economic collapse. He's going to be bringing about the death at the end of the day. It's the Lord who's bringing these things. And the Lord is using his men to blare that trumpet. Continue reading on from the, after that trumpet, Bubba Strong.
This is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 17. So I can. Yeah.
Repent for
this is Zephaniah.
As a hand.
This is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 17. It says, "And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they." You say something, bro?
No, go ahead.
It says, "Because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither shall their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh Bashim Shai's wrath. But the whole land."
Real quick, it says the same thing in Ezekiel. All right, I believe it might be either chapter 10 or 11.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, where it says that their silver shall be cast in the streets.
Exactly. This gold and silver is not going to save you, Israelites, man. And I believe it says that in chapter 13 that it was set up as a stumbling block. All right, the riches of this world, roughly paraphrasing. I know it doesn't say that verbatim, but because you Israelites, all you do is covet after the riches, man. You go after the riches of this world, and that's ultimately why you go through the things that you go to.
Yeah.
But real quick, go ahead.
That is that precept. This is Ezekiel 7:19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity.
And exactly, and at that time, it was talking about the Israelites. All right, but now what? We got Deuteronomy, 30:7, right? Where it talks about the curse is going to be on the heathen. All right, but what? You Israelites, you thought that you was going to buy your way out of these judgments, all right, that were to come. But the Most High had a different plan. You had to go through what you had to go through. You had to suffer the things that were to come because you went off. You ended up going and relying on the riches of this world. You thought that it was going to save you. All right, and when you read the book of Ezekiel, you can see that the Lord was showing Ezekiel how the people was going off. They were going into worshiping these other gods. They were worshiping this money. They were relying on that. They weren't relying on the Lord. They thought the Lord had forsaken the whole earth. And the scriptures say that over and over in the book of Ezekiel. The Israelites think that I have abandoned the earth, man. Roughly paraphrasing. And it goes to show you, as you read through the scriptures, that the Lord didn't, man. And Israel is going through it right now. You know? Ashu was on that precept, right?
Yeah, that was it.
Kwam, you had something to say?
Yeah, through the spirit to back you up, because it said this is the stumbling block of their iniquity. And that's why Jake says, I made it out. and you take out the terms that Jake said when he so-called make it. All right, he says what you either rap or play football. All right, that's their terms of making it out. Making it out of what? Making it out of the curses, making it out of the hood, making it out of projects, making it out of struggling. But really, they just made themselves into a net. They put themselves right into the snares of Esau, Edom. Then what do you have to do when you in that snare? You have to worship him. You got to sacrifice. You got to do certain acts and rituals, and that's the stumbling of your iniquity, because you thought that your riches, all right, were going to make you escape the curses. But what did Yahweh Shai tell the example or the parable to the young rich man? He said, "Cast away your riches." And what did the rich man say? He said he was sore displeased when the Lord told him he had to give up his riches, man. Therefore, he could not follow.
Because that's why in James 5, it says, "Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you." That's why it says in Luke the 6th chapter that, "Woe to you that are rich, for you have received your consolation." You received your participation prize. You made it, so to say. But woe means destruction, so your end is destruction, right?
If you want to go back to that second Esdras now, 6. You was done with that precept part?
Yeah, that was it on that.
Okay. All right. So second Esdras chapter 6, and I'm gonna read verse 23 again. It says, "And the trumpet shall give a sound, which every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein."
Guys, and you got this going on throughout the world right now, man. In different places, uproars of the people. All right, the Matthew 24 said that the love of many shall wax cold, because here it is that our brothers going into this money, all right, the monetary funds, but when that's of no value, all right, and when the supplies, the lack of bread, all right, people start fighting against each other. You think your neighbor Billy, all right, is your friend, all right. When all hell hits the fan, all right, when people are afraid for their very life, all right, they don't know when they're going to get their next meal, all right. And so what? They're gonna resort to fighting their friends like they would be fighting their enemies, man. So all love, all this Christianity talking about love, this love. We're gonna see where all that love goes when there's when your ribs are touching, because you didn't have a good meal in half a day, because these people are gonna bug out quick, So all this hold hands and sing kumbayas, everybody come together, no matter what you believe in, or no matter how you feel and think, all that's gonna be out the window. All right. And for a friendship of 40 years, man, that's gonna be the man to know exactly where to come to steal your food. All right, he's gonna be the first one at your doorstep with the 12 gauge, coming to get all the canned goods you've been telling him about. You've been storing up water, gallons of water, and telling your best buddy, your friend, and then he's gonna be the first one to come get it. But keep going on that verse. Finish that verse.
Hey, Flock, I got the article about Hong Kong.
You
want me to get into
it? Yeah, you can bring that out. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. This is from Financial Times. The title of the article is "A military crackdown in Hong Kong would be a tragic error. Armed intervention would harm Chinese long, whatever, blah, blah." But reading a little bit part of this article came out today. All right, and this morning, the clashes at Hong Kong airport are an ominous moment. Demonstrations are intensifying. The behavior of a violent fringe of protesters is increasingly out of control.
Yeah, and the airport. Like real quick, the reason that the brothers bringing this out is to signify the importance of these riots, man, in the uproars. Because here it is, it's no longer in third world countries. All right, China is a big power player as far as the economy. All right, as far as a global power on the earth. Now is beginning, man, to happen. Nonetheless, of the yellow vest protest. But now this is happening in Hong Kong, China. Where people are rising up against authorities, man. It tells you that, I believe, it's the second Esdras chapter 16. that there should be sedition among men. They shall not regard their kings and their princes. Well, look, it's already beginning to happen. The people aren't caring what the police got to say. Here it is. The SWAT teams coming and people are at the airport, man. Let somebody try that shit here in America, man. Imagine that the airport is full of protests, man, and people throwing shit at the riot control. People getting maced the hell out of. Hey, it's happening in China now, man. So go ahead and keep going on that article.
Yep. The behavior of a violent fringe of protesters is increasingly out of control, with the airport occupation degenerating into attacks on two mainlanders accused of being spies. All right, so it goes into what is going on roughly.
Okay.
But here's a point: the likelihood of armed intervention by the Chinese People's Liberation Army, or possibly a resort to martial law, or to a curfew and mass arrest, is mounting. Yep. So again, this is being brought up because hey, this is going to be a mirror effect. It's going around. What is just taking this world tour, and then it's going to hit right here in America. This is the main place where the judgment is going to be held.
That's right, because even though that's China, all right, and Moabites supposedly run that country, all right, at the end of the day, they still getting money from the world central banking systems. So Esau, he'll do test runs in these different countries with these heathens and shit to see how they react, because they know that when they do it here, they want to have everything mastered, all right, and have it already done, all these test runs, all these trials, all right. So at the end of the day, they just like they've been doing the cashless society. China's like one of the forerunners in that, man. And because ultimately they're going to bring it here to America.
Con, hey, I got a quick preset real quick.
Okay.
This is Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. But there shall be sedition among men. And when you go into that word sedition, like the article the brother's bringing out, like the brother's saying, this is going to ultimately hit here in America. It says conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. And that's exactly what's taking place all over the world, man. You have uproars in South Africa. You have uproars in of the yellow protests. You have uproars in Hong Kong. All over the world, man, you have these uproars of the people and these seditions of the people. Why is that? Because the Lord told us to measure these same times diligently, that at the end, all right, it shall speak and it wouldn't lie, so that we can be comforted of his return, man, to escape this the damn destruction that's getting ready to take place here, because the wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth. All right, the scriptures say the earth that is right now, all right, is where does not much glory abide, man. There's not much glory, there's not much of respect, all right, and acknowledgement of Yahweh Shem Shai abide here in these last days, man. That's why, just like the Lord told Abraham, all right, concerning Lot, he said, look, if you can find 50 men, I will spare this place. And that's exactly a great analogy of what's going on right now. You can't find 50 men in one of the cities where we at. That's why when you see the camps, you got at the most like 10 brothers. Why isn't it 50 brothers? Excluding Chicago and the big camps. But why is that? Because there's not a lot of righteous men here on the planet Earth. Okay.
Yep.
So it says,
and real quick, you have sedition here in America already on a smaller level. People ain't protesting like they doing over there in those countries, but the people are protesting the government here. Not on such that great level just yet, but it's gonna be a lot worse here in America, man. Because you have a bunch of savages here in America, man.
Yeah. Well,
and you starting to shoot, huh? Go ahead.
I was gonna say you have a lot of proud individuals. America's proud, man. They don't know anything. They're not prepared. They're not aware. They just proud.
Yep.
Proud to be destroyed, bro. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. So you're right, just to back you up, and especially our people, our women are going to be the first to bug out. And what that's going to cause Jake to do? Because the scripture say a woman shall compass a man. So Jake is going to follow after the woman telling. Jake going to be worse. Then you got badass little Tina running around the house in diapers. You trying to get her under control because she yelling. It's just gonna be chaos out here, man. Once this thing pop off, just to back you up, bro. This is gonna be beautiful, something to sit back and watch.
And the crazy shit is, you see the over there in China, it's nothing but a bunch of Moabites protesting together. But when it happens here, it's gonna be racial riots. It's gonna be civil war. Okay, it's just gonna be all out chaos, man. This is the perfect formula for destruction here in America, man. And the Lord set it up beautifully. Go ahead and finish that verse up.
Finish it off for you, bro. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 16. but there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
So the course of their actions shall stand in their power, meaning they're gonna take things into their own hands. Look, the government ain't helping us no more. We gonna come and take this, man. They gonna run up in the White House, man, and because ultimately, yeah, they gonna send the military troops, but they'll probably send the police first, you know. But the police, man, they're gonna be starving too. All right, they're gonna put them badges down and start storming the stores right along with the rest of the people, man. All right, so it ain't gonna be nobody's gonna care what the breaking broadcast news got to say. You know what Trump, breaking an emergency conference with the U.S. They're not gonna care. All right, because it's gonna be sedition among men. All right, it's gonna be every man for himself. It's gonna be a cutthroat society. All right, but that was it. Well, we could come back to that chapter in a bit. My young, go back to that second Ezra, verse 24.
Okay. Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. And Yahushua said that would happen in Matthew chapter 24. I can't remember the exact verse, but it said the love of many shall wax cold.
Yep.
You know, a lot of you people will think that you're friends with everybody in your neighborhood, even though you don't say hi. At the end of the day, when you get home and you pull up in your driveway, you don't say hi to them people, but you think that you're cool. But at the end of the day, when you have bread, when you have that cheap ass Wonder Bread in your house, in that pantry of yours with peanut butter, your neighbor's gonna know about it, and he's gonna swoop on in. All right, and then brothers who haven't seen that movie that I sent out the other day, the trigger effect, they showed that. You had the one kid that was going to Edomite's house, doing the construction work, and what he do when the power was out, when nobody had money, to buy food, what he do? He went and broke into the house that he was working at, man.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting killed. Ultimately, at the end of the day, which is going to happen to a lot of you Edomites, a lot of you Jakes too. But the point being, the love of many shall wax cold. Y'all going to be fighting one against another, man. Y'all going to be trying to get off on the next nigga next to you, man.
Yep.
Yep, I got a quick precept. This is Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, which we know America is called spiritual Sodom and Egypt. All right, and these modern day Americans, or these Americans are the modern day Egyptians. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, so there's just another preset to prove that it's gonna be all out chaos, man. All right, you see these movies when shit hits the fan, everybody just going in straight chaotic mode, man. It's that fight or flight. All right, and what most people are gonna do is gonna revert to the real beast inside of them, man. That real terrorist in them.
Real quick, what do these Christians say? Oh, what about your brother? You gotta you can't lie to your brother. You can't you gotta show love to your brother. Well, guess what? In that day, you simple ass Christians, try to show love to your brother when he's trying to put a knife to your throat and trying to steal your last piece of bread, man. Or try to show love to your neighbor, right? Because that's what you Christians like to say. Oh, your neighbor don't just mean Israelite. It means everybody, right? Well, guess what? Show love to your neighbor when he got a shotgun to your face, asking you for the last cans of beans that you got. Show love to him. Do it, man. And ultimately that's what the scriptures talk about, man. The love of many shall wax cold.
Yeah.
All right. Let me read this again. The second Ezra 6 and 24.
Yeah, go ahead.
At that time shall friends, right? friends fight one against another like enemies. And you Christians gonna you gonna be tearing each other's heads off in that day.
Yep.
All right, vocab and friends, boy. Oh boy, you vocab and friends, boy. Y'all gonna be at each other's throats.
Yeah. And let's see if he's really friends with Cherry Love in that day.
Yeah,
Wildebeest.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. When she trying to eat the last pork sandwich,
Yep.
see if vocab's gonna be the best friend with her. You know.
If I may say, because we already know this world has already been cutthroat. Most people are friends in name and title, not by by any type of hard connection. Like, oh, this is my brother. Only time you find that is here in this truth. Among the men that the Most High have set up. Around the world there is no love. But basically in this time it's going to be shown. There's going to be no filter. It's going to be manifest. Because that's that division. Oh, that's my neighbor. But what kind of communion do you guys do? You guys watch the football game. You guys have nothing in common. You guys aren't cool with each other. You snicker right when you turn his back. You think about his woman. Oh, his wife is hot. I can't wait to, or he would sleep. I would do this and do that. Shit like that is going to be happy because right now they don't do because it's a so to say civilization at the moment. But once all the gate is loose, they're going to finally be free to do the wickedness, what they've been holding in on the inside. They're going to be cutting off their friends. I hate this. I hate my damn coworker. I can't wait to put hands on them. The purge, right? That was a perfect example.
Yeah, I got the precept for you, brother. Well, I'll just read it. This is a Sirach chapter 6, verse 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. So there you go. Like the brother just said, man. They're all friend. Everybody's your friend. Everybody's your friend until that day of trouble comes around, man. They're just friends, like the brother said, in name, just in name. Yeah. Because out of your mouth, you can be whatever you want. You could say, you could tell everybody you've been to the moon. You're an astronaut. You're the world's quickest Olympic runner. You can say anything you want out of your mouth. But when that time of trouble comes around, we'll really see who's your friend. All right, verse 9. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach. So that's the point on that. Just laying back off the brother. But
bro, it's true, bro. Because that's why you say you can't know a friend in prosperity. In this world, everybody's in insecurity. They have whatever. They got a nice job, they got a cool car, or he come over because he plays video games. After when the prosperity is taken away, then it's gonna be the survival of the fittest, that Darwinism thing that these people think they're just gonna be, like scripture say, dating each other, just basically doing how they felt in the heart in the first place. They're honoring them with their mouth, with their heart. They're not connected any type of way.
But finish that 24th verse up.
It says, I'll start at the top again. 2nd Ezra 6 and 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Yep. And that's when that knowledge and wisdom is gonna stop, man. You ain't gonna be able to, because those springs, all right, those fountains is where that knowledge comes from, man. That knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You ain't gonna be able to find it at a time, because we coming to a time where the famine of the word's coming. All right. That sweet water that we're handing out right now is not gonna be found. All right. The Lord's gonna shut them fountains up, man. Because right now we're freely giving the living waters to people. It's because it's coming from our what does the scripture say? Out of his belly shall flow living waters, or so, roughly paraphrasing. For brother want to grab that, if you know where that is at. That's what the Lord is gonna stop up, man. It's because it said the springs of the fountain shall stand still. Right there, physically you see a fountain, maybe in a little pond or something, a lake. They got fountains flowing. There's water continually spouting out of there. What happens when it stops though? The water stops. It becomes stagnant, and now you can't find the springs no more, man. And that's what's gonna happen spiritually. You got that out?
This is St. John chapter 7, verse 38. I'm gonna start verse 37. It says, in the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
There you go. And that's what's gonna come to a standstill, man. Because what out of our mouths or out of our bellies, all right, is flowing the living waters right now. And that's gonna, which is this word. And the Lord is gonna have us cleave, He gonna cleave our tongues to the top of our mouths, roughly paraphrasing. I think I'll leave that in Ezekiel, not literal, but we're not gonna be giving this word out to everybody, man. There's gonna be a famine of the word. Or stand still to these clean, sweet waters, man. All right, so keep going.
Okay. This is 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 25. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world.
There you go, man. So the ones that remain through all the tribulations, the time of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, all right, all these things that have been told unto us that the Lord is broadcasting through His elect right now, all right, through His servants, the prophets, all right. Whoever makes it through this, they're gonna see the salvation. All right, they're gonna escape. They're gonna see the salvation in the end of this world. They're gonna see the missiles destroy America. All right, they're gonna return, and those that die, in Yahweh Shai, they're gonna return with them. Okay, they're gonna see the everyone starving to death. The people butchering each other in the streets. You got something, brother? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, time heavy. That twofold backing you up, going back on that water, having the fountains of the living water standing still. Twofold, man. This is Isaiah 65, verse 13. It says, therefore, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, behold, my servant shall eat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my servant shall eat, man. Okay, and that's spiritual too, man, because we all gonna be in a feast together. All right, if you will. What is that? What is that feast? That true feast is the words, which is the bread of life, man.
Well, it's like you said, it's spiritual too. Not only are the elect going to be eating physical food, be maintained in that day, but they're gonna be filled, all right, with what that just like the Lord did before, man. That manna from heaven, all right, which is what this word now spiritually. This word we're gonna be fed with it, all right. That's why it said that knowledge and wisdom is gonna be the stability of thy times. Because we've been like bears do before they go into hibernation. We've been filling ourselves with this word, man, the bread of life. And then what? That's gonna allow us to make it through these times because we're gonna be spiritually fed.
Yes. It says, but ye shall be hungry.
Yeah, these people are gonna be hungry, physically and spiritually, man. Because what? The fountains, they're gonna be thirsty, hungry, all right? Because they're gonna once they turn. In that Isaiah 19 that I read earlier, if you go on to the third verse, it talks about how the spirit of Egypt's gonna fail. They're gonna go to their idols, they're gonna seek after all the bullshit they believe in, and once they realize that this is not the way, and then it's gonna click that a prophet has been among them, then they're gonna come seeking for the word, but it's gonna be too late because what it's gonna them spring, or what they say, the springs of the fountains shall stand still. Now you can't get it. Now you can't get fed. You can't get hydrated with this word,
Right. And it's the point. It says, behold, my servant shall drink, but he shall be thirsty.
There it is.
Behold, my servant. Okay.
Now go ahead. You got it.
Okay. It says, behold, my servant shall rejoice, but he shall be ashamed. Like you said, my servant shall drink. All right, and that's what we're doing right now, man. We actually going into the wells, man. And while we have time, all right, we storing up that water, man. Because we know it's a time coming. There ain't gonna be where no man can work, roughly to say, man. It's gonna be a time where you can't go out, all right, and get these certain things, man. Okay, and what is that speaking of? The knowledge. Okay, yeah, you got breakdowns, you got the edification, you got the exhortation. All right, all these different videos. When you type in Great Millstone, this is the water that the scriptures is talking about, man. This is the knowledge, man, that the scriptures spoke about at the end. All right, you would want to have, as like the brothers quoted, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability. All right, that's us drinking, man. But what? Then it said, ye shall be thirsty. And what? People are actually going to have a spiritual thirst all right, because they're going to be so, their mouth is going to be so dry, their brain going to be so dry,
Don't know what's going on.
they going to know what's going on. And that's when you're going to have that Walking Dead really going to like hit out here in these streets. People are going to literally be walking dead, man, literally walking with no life, wandering from sea to sea and from land to land to what? Search for the words of the Lord, all right, and they shall not find it, man. You know?
Hey, I got that real quick.
Good.
Hey, this in Amos 8, just to make a point. You know, you're talking about that you know the streams drying up and stuff like that. You know, hey, going into what I'm about to read in Amos 8, you know, with the famine of the word, hey, you know, water is driven through what? You know, like channels, right? Just like your YouTube channel. All right, when the Lord cuts off these here channels, He's gonna cut off your water stream. All right, and we're gonna read about it right here in the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse. I'm gonna start at verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the word of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro and seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst. And so when the Lord drive these here streams, man, all right, that's when you're going to be looking for this here water, all right, this living water, all right, or this here bread, man, all right, the heavenly manna, man, all right, but what, you're not going to be able to find it, man, just like the brother Kwam, you know, brought out that precept, man. We're going to be full, but you're going to be hungry, man, all right? Just wanted to bring that out real quick. Go ahead, brother.
That's right, man. Yeah, I got another precept to go with that as well. This is gonna go back. It's gonna go with the Amos 8 and what we read in Second Ezra 6th chapter. This is Second Ezra chapter 5 verse 9. And salt waters shall be found in the sweet. And what's that symbolize? All right, because you can't drink salt water, man. You drink salt water, you're gonna become more dehydrated. All right. So that's when people are going to start going to their idols and start going to these false teachers, false prophets. That's what they're going to get. They're going to get that salt water. All right. It says, and they're going to claim to it because, like how should I said in Matthew 24, that they're going to be false prophets or false Christ, meaning they're going to be saying that they're the anointed ones. And so that's what they're going to get. They're going to get some salt water. That's why I said, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, because they're going to claim to have the truth, but they ain't got it. All right. It says, and all going back to what we started off with, and all friends shall destroy one another. There it is again. It says, then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. So there it is. When people are trying to look for this truth and not be able to find it, that's when things are going to get even worse for them. Here it is. They don't know what to do, where to go anymore. And things are going to continue to get worse because you didn't want to listen. You didn't want to hearken. So now things are just going to go downhill for you. Okay. But we can go back to that Second Ezra 6.
And so what was the last one I read?
25. We're on 25 now. Yeah.
So Second Ezra chapter 6 verse 25. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth.
Yeah, so if a brother want to grab what Yahweh Shai said, there be some standing here that shall not taste of death. Because that's what, hey, like what the brother just read. It said, well, what verse was that? The 26th verse?
That was 25.
All right, read 26.
Okay. Verse 26, and the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth.
Yep. So let me know when the brother got that preset. Because that's what's going to happen, man. Because not only are they going to be receive what? Receive that salvation and be received into those chariots. Okay. And then it says, who have not tasted death from their birth. Go ahead. Whoever got that precept.
This is Luke chapter 9 and verse 27. But I tell you of a truth, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of the Most High.
There it is. So there be some standing here today that are not going to taste the death until they see how Bashim Shai return in all his power and glory, man. All right, they're going to get to witness the destruction of their enemies. All right, the downfall of this wicked society, the society that has oppressed us and beat us to the lowest point of all time. All right, we're going to get, Lord's will we those, man. We're going to get to witness these things, man. With Yahweh Shai coming to save us and then leading the charge to take the world back. You know, yeah, the scriptures say that the saints shall take the kingdom by force, you know, roughly paraphrasing, or by violence or something, you know, roughly paraphrasing. Keep reading. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
This is kind. I think that's in Psalms, but basically it says, "Only with thine eyes shalt thou see, and behold the reward of the wicked."
Yeah.
And backing it, brother up.
Psalm 91.
All right, let me get this real quick, brother. This is Psalms
91.
This is Psalms chapter 91, verse 8. All right, and it says, "Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation." That's right. So those brothers that call on the name of the Lord, which is a strong tower, guess what? And they're going to be able to witness the reward of the wicked. And that's beautiful, because Proverbs 16 says the Lord hath even made all things for himself, even the wicked, for the day of evil. And you're going to have particular souls out here that are the Lord is bringing them through all this trial and all this fire just so they can be perfected, or just so they can be anointed to see that the reward of the wicked, man. And you know how beautiful, you know how much of the spirit of brothers is going to be. That's why we say faith shall flourish, man. You know what type of spirit brothers and their wives and their children is going to be in, that believe in the words of Yahweh Shai to see this place crumble. Because that's going to be the ultimate turning of the tables. Because when you breaking down and losing your mind and unstable as waters, all right, guess what? We're going to have stability, and we're going to be in comfort, and we're going to be at ease of mind, knowing that Yahweh Shai is getting ready to redeem our bodies, man. Redeem us from this hell, man. As it is written, the earth itself is groaning, and even the creature itself, man. Our earnest expectation is to see this, man. We expect to see Yahweh Shai, man, so that we can be changed just like him and escape the destruction, not only of our people and of the world, but even our own selves, man. You know what type of spirit gonna be on us, man? Lord's movie, those man. Yep. You know, we gonna see the reward of the wicked, man. And that should put more of a fire to your candlestick, man, to go harder for this truth, that it don't matter what we suffer, all right, it cannot amount unto the glory that shall be revealed when we see Yahweh Shai, man, when we see this place actually crumble, man. You know?
Yeah, because it says, "Blessed is a man that sees the downfall of his enemy."
That's right.
You know, because just like in the ancient Egypt, that great deliverances that happened to us back then, you know, this is that same time it's going to be remembered again. You know, us remember our forefathers telling the stories. We're still reading the scriptures about that deliverance that happened to us in Egypt. You know, we're going to, and if we don't be those men, you know, we're going to be telling the same story down to our young ones. That's right. Saying what the hell was going on, you know, in that great time, Most High deliver us out of modern day Egypt. You know?
Watch the modern day earth swallowing up 2/3. You know, some nukes dropping on the ground, man. You know, and swallowing their asshole, man. You know, with that fire consuming them. You know, so that's all.
Okay. Go ahead and finish 26 up. Second Ezra 6.
Okay. So verse 26 says, "And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning."
Yep. Hey, the scriptures say that we're going to get those new hearts. You know, the Lord's going to put those write the law, statutes, commandments in our inward parts, give us those fleshly hearts. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 27, "And evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched."
That's right, man. So there ain't gonna be no evil and deceit no more, man. Because what now? When we get those fleshly hearts and we're gonna be a perfect people, now it's our time to rule over the world. And that there ain't gonna be mass shootings, all right, uproars of the people, like protesting the governments and shit like that. You know, abortions. Okay, all these atrocities that go on everyday life, man. It's just like it's a normal thing here in America, man, to hear about these things. You hear about abortion and murder. What else? Uh, um, Bestiality, homosexuality. These are normal things to hear in America, man. That's all gonna be put away. Ain't gonna be no lions scheming on your neighbor so you can commit adultery with his woman. All that is going out the window. Okay, that's why then having it said in the heart of then having it shall be changed and turned into another meaning, man. Because now is the true meaning of why the Lord set up this earth, man, so that His righteous people can govern the earth and in righteousness. Okay, you got. Go ahead.
I got a quick precept. 2 verses in Isaiah 60, just to back you up, brother. It's Isaiah 60, verse 18. It says, "Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasted nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise." All right. Now let me read verse 21. "Thy people also shall all be righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I might be glorified." Just to back the brother up. Yep. So when we get to the kingdom of heaven, man, we're gonna all be righteous, man. We're not gonna be having all this violence and drug selling and drug dealing, so-called black on black crime, all right, thieving and all these extra things going on, man. We're gonna all be righteous, man. All right, you got it, brother.
If I may say something real quick through the spirit, and one thing that brothers go through a lot too is the same zealous spirit that we have on us right now. Having that go away after a live video, or here it is, you're on fire in the video and then you slip up and go off down the road. Nah, man, in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna have that perfect. We're gonna be perfect forever, man. We ain't gonna go off, man. We ain't gonna see another man's woman, man. We ain't gonna see a brother's woman. The only one we gonna see is the gifts, all right, that brother presented to us, all right, and our old woman, man. And that's what's gonna be righteous forever. We ain't gonna have to worry about having a good day, all right, and then having to fight for the Lord the next day. Nah, man. The Lord is actually going. The tabernacle is with men. The Lord is going to put that covenant, put that love on us, man, and that's going to show abroad. That's what's going to make us righteous, man. We're going to be one with the Most High, Yahweh. Right now we fighting the good fight of that faith, but soon it's going to be in us, man. That's the covenant.
Right. Yeah, and it's starting now, man. And it's starting now because hey, my young, you can finish this verse, the 28th verse off, and then we'll close up after this. Read that 28th verse because it's going to go into pretty much what the brother was just saying. Go ahead.
2 Ezra chapter 6 verse 28. "As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared."
Yep, and that's what's taking off right now, man. That's what's taking place around the four corners of the earth. This is what got Esau so spooked. That faith is flourishing. That's why these Christians don't understand what's going on. They're trying to fight against the truth because they don't understand what they say. People are afraid of what they don't understand. Well, they don't understand faith. You got millions and if not billions of people claiming to be God-fearing Christians and God this and Jesus that, but they don't understand what faith is. Now, since the beginning with the elder apostles and their elders came on the scene, all right, faith has been flourishing on the earth, man. Corruption is being overcome, and it's going to fully be manifest when Yahushua comes back, all right, and gives us those glorious bodies, all right, gives us that new covenant, all right, puts His law, statutes, commandments in our inward parts. This is when it's going to be fully overcome because Yahushua has already gotten the victory. He's already overcome, all right. He's already sitting on the right hand side of the Lord, all right. He's going to come and give His brethren, the joint heirs, their reward, all right, and that's when we're going to overcome. If a brother want to grab that, he that in Revelation overcome, I think it's in like the second or third chapter. Brother want to grab that. But and then it said, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. And that's what's going on, man. That's why you have great millstone camps throughout all the world, man. And the apostles never once left America, man, to go set up a camp. They didn't go to England and set up a camp there. They didn't go to Hawaii. They didn't go to South of Africa. All right, Germany. This word is being declared. The truth that has been so long without fruit is being declared, and the Lord is setting up that standard. All right, he's setting the chess pieces up for this ultimate showdown. so that he can be magnified. The names Yahweh Bashim Al Shai can once be feared again on this earth.
Right, man.
Go ahead.
Hey, brother. Hey, quote what you wanted again? The hour of temptation and Revelation.
Let me see here.
Is it Revelation 3 and 10?
Nah.
No, that.
Okay,
2 and 20. Is that 25?
Yeah,
Yep. That's it.
25.
Come.
Yep. Because they're talking about overcoming, corruption. But go ahead.
This Revelation chapter 2, verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my word unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
That's right.
And
slide real quick. That's what's going to be given, man. That power over the nations, because that's what Yahweh side is receiving. All right. And that's what the elect is going to receive. The 144,000. Lord's will be part of that number. Go ahead, brother.
It says, Revelation 2 and 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my word unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as the vessel of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I am received of my Father.
That's right. So even as Yahweh Shai has received of his father Yahweh, all right, that we're gonna receive the same thing, man. We're gonna receive the power over the nations, to beat them over the head with a rod of iron, shatter them into pieces, man. All right. Of course, Yahweh Shai is number one. All right, he's above all. He's the highest under Yahweh. But we're joint heirs with him, so we're gonna receive this, a piece of the prize, so to say. We're gonna be co-inheritors of the kingdom of heaven with Yahweh Shai.
Yep, because it's what's happening is it's a righteous takeover. Righteousness is getting prevailed. That's why it says when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Right? Because it says in Isaiah 14:7, it says, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet, and they break forth singing. When the righteous are going to be put in authority, everybody's going to be break forth singing. All people that was complaining and scoffing, they're going to be happy, because like you said, people fear that don't understand. They don't understand what's going on, and we're doing this for the betterment of all existence. Because like it says, if it wasn't the elect saved, no flesh should be saved. So
that's right. Okay. Hey, but with that, Lord's orders was edifying unto the hopeful elect out there. We want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations and much love to Yakim out there pushing out this word and truth to sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.
They say shalom.
That's dope. That was beautiful.